can't wait to sit down and read my book.
There's a perfect spot right over there.
Oh, that is a good spot, huh?
You can see the beach, and we can build sandcastles right here.
Perfect. You're always great at finding the perfect spots.
Thanks.
This is a great spot. Don't you think so, Becca? Becca?
What do you think, Beck?
Becca, she was right behind me.
Where
Becca?
is she? She was right with us. Becca!
Mom, where are you? Becca!
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 Mom, where are you?
Becca! Becca! Oh, there she
There
is.
she is. Oh,
Becca, where were
I
you?
was so
I
worried.
was running and my flip-flop fell off. I was trying to get it back on, and the next time I looked up, no one was there.
Oh, that must have been scary.
It was.
I thought you were lost.
I was, but then I remembered to trust God, and no matter where I am.
Wow. That's a good thing you remembered that. You know, that kind of reminds me of a story. I mean, being at the beach here so early and you know, come to think of it, I bet there were times that even the apostles and Jesus' disciples felt a little bit lost. Maybe not lost like that they didn't know where they were, but maybe lost like they weren't exactly sure what to do, or maybe what they were supposed to be doing. I think that was the case, like a short time after Jesus, well, when he died on the cross, they must have felt very alone. He was their best friend, and now he was gone. But then 3 days later, he rose again. And there's a story in John chapter 21, and it talks about how even after Jesus had visited them after he rose from the dead, he visited them 2 times. But he would come and see them, and then he would go away again, and then he would come again and see them, and then he'd go away. And this one time, Peter was together with the disciples, and Peter decided, I'm going to go fishing. And some of the other disciples, well, they decided to go fishing with him too. So all the disciples got their fishing gear together, and they got in their boat. And they went out into the Sea of Tiberias, or it was called the Sea of Galilee as well. And like good fishermen did, they were very good at catching fish. So they had their net, and they picked up their net, and they threw it in the water. And once the net was all in the water, and they let it soak for just a little bit of time, then they decided, pull it in. So they pulled the net in, and they pulled the net in, and they pulled the net in, and once the net got inside the boat, they reached down and they picked up all their fish that were in the net, and they raised them up really high, and they showed everybody all the fish. They didn't catch any fish. And Peter gave the command, do it again. So they picked up the net and they threw it in again. After all, they were very good fishermen. I mean, this was easy, right? So they throw the So they decided, let's tow this as close as we can, and then we'll drag the net full of fish. See all the fish? You can try counting them, but trust me, there's 153. You better have your eyes checked. And they pulled the net, all the way to the shore. And when Peter saw them get close, he helped them drag the net. And Jesus told them, bring some of the fish that you have caught to me. And Jesus cooked some fish. And he already had fish cooking. Because as soon as they got there, they enjoyed a wonderful breakfast with Jesus. And they had fish, and they had bread.
That was a great story, Dad.
Yes, it was.
You know, we can learn a lot from this story. Just how the disciples fished all night long and they didn't catch anything. But once Jesus was there to help them, they caught so many fish they couldn't even get them back into the boat.
That reminds me what Jesus said when he called those disciples to be his apostles. He said, come follow me. I will make you fishers of men.
Yeah, it's kind of like he wanted them to be fishers of men instead of fishers of fish.
Isn't that something? Maybe that makes sense why he told them to bring some of the fish that they had caught to him, even though he already had fish cooked and ready to eat.
So we should pretend that we're fishing and tell others how Jesus is Christ and is God's Son. And he was the one who paid the punishment so that we can be with God forever and ever.
If we believe and put our trust in him.
That's exactly right, girls. So we can remember that no matter where we are, whether we're on vacation or at home or
Or at softball practice or our best friend's house.
We're lost at the beach.
we can remember that God is there too. Because God's everywhere. He doesn't sleep, and he has the power to be all kinds of places at once. So we're never really alone.
So remember, no matter where you are, trust God.
Let's do that again.
You guys want to help us do it? Yeah. All right. Remember, no matter where you are, trust God. Good job. Have fun.